Abandoned buildings in Baltimore create more than an unpleasant view. They foster serious health risks to the neighborhoods they reside in. These properties create homes for mold, lead contamination, pests, and rodents. These factors can lead to neighbors getting sick, experiencing stress from fire hazards, crime, and the uncertainty of living near a decaying structure. Each vacant building represents more than neglect. It's a direct threat to the safety and well-being of their neighbors.
When I was a kid, my dad used to live next to a vacant house, and they had like rats. That is an issue that can happen. Just rodents and insects.
Oh man, it impacts it. It brings it down.
It brings it down?
Yeah, it brings
Like,
it down.
what specifically brings it down?
Well, the vacant houses, the drugs, the trash,
Yeah.
those things.
City Councilwoman Odette Ramos oversees District 14. This includes neighborhoods such as Darley Park and Coldstream Homestead Montebello, where more than a quarter of properties are vacant and abandoned.
Elevated child lead levels and elevated asthma levels are in areas where there are vacant properties. And part of that is because, these are sick buildings, there's lead, there's asbestos, there's all kinds of stuff in them that, on a windy day, that stuff can go all over the place.
The Able Foundation, quote, is committed to improving health, economic, and educational outcomes in Baltimore City so that all people can thrive. They fund research and programs related to vacant properties, one of which reported the public health issues related to the presence of vacant properties.
I mean, we have like very high asthma levels among children and adults in Baltimore. A lot of that is outside air, but a lot of it's inside air too. There's, lead when you have, a vacant building with peeling lead, and the lead is just going airborne, or going into the soil, and then people are putting that on their shoes, and then it goes in their house, so there's specific health threats that come from vacants.
The risks of vacant properties often lie behind blocked doors, where water damage seeps into structures and create the perfect environment for mold.
And then also for older adults who are living next to vacant properties, particularly if there's water damage, the mold is bad for them in terms of their respiratory health, in terms of making their asthma worse, in terms of the very obvious cases of elevated child lead and asthma are in areas that have concentrated vacant properties. It's a fact.
In the trash and debris it collects, and in that there's a water storage, of that, and increased mosquitoes. So they've found through the Baltimore ecosystem study that there are higher levels of mosquitoes and thus higher, potential levels of Lyme disease and other mosquito-borne diseases. And then also, the vermin issue, because that is also the droppings are, an asthma trigger.
Vacant properties aren't just a burden to those who live next door. They're a danger to entire neighborhoods. When left unmaintained, structural decay, debris, combined with illegal activity or accidental fires create an ongoing threat for residents and firefighters alike.
Well, certainly fire risk is a big one. Right? We've seen some prominent instances of vacant house fires that have led to injuries and death. You see a lot of houses around town with a red diamond on them, like a lot of vacant houses, which means that the fire department has determined that it's not safe for firefighters to go in case it does catch on fire. It could be a variety of reasons that a vacant house would catch on fire. It could be to do with, wiring going bad, or could be squatters.
While health impacts are severe, the solutions are within reach. Programs and projects addressing vacant properties have already begun to transform neighborhoods. This has been Anna Miller with Loyola University, Maryland.